Hi there, it's April the 1st, and we're continuing our journey through the Good News of Luke. In chapter 9, we're reading from verses 28 to 50. At the beginning of our reading here, Jesus takes 3 of his disciples up a mountain, and there he is transformed before them. The Greek word, although we sometimes use the word transfiguration, the Greek word is actually connected to our word metamorphosed. His appearance was changed. And as he is changed in this way and he's shining with the glory that he has with his Father, so 2 characters appear from the Hebrew Scriptures, Moses and Elijah. Now they represent in the Hebrew story, the Jewish story, the law and the prophets. And they're talking with Jesus. Now it's very significant the word that Luke uses about what they were talking about. They're talking with Jesus about his exodus. And this is not just about his death, because the old version of the English Bible has about his decease, but actually decease is not the right word here. It's actually about his exit, it's about his departure. And in fact, it's pointing to the ascension. It's pointing to the fact that after his death and resurrection, his exit from the tomb, Jesus is going to be entering into his Father's presence, having achieved all that he was sent to achieve. And this has caused excitement, this has caused amazement in heaven, and Moses and Elijah are there speaking with Jesus about this, and possibly also encouraging him because of the cost that it's going to be to Jesus to achieve this. And then Peter, perhaps not knowing what to say, says, "Oh, shall we build some tabernacles for you?" Now, it's not totally ridiculous to say, let's build some tents for you, because the festival of Sukkot was very much a messianic festival, a festival of looking towards the coming Messiah and the harvest of all things. But actually, that Moses and Elijah then disappear, and all that is left, and by the way, they're covered in a cloud, and a cloud again has an echo of God's presence from the Hebrew Scriptures, and so. Here is God covering them, and then when the cloud lifts, all they see is Jesus and being told he is the one, listen to him. And then they go down the mountainside and they come across a situation that the other disciples can't deal with. Now it's encouraging to realize that Jesus' disciples, even though they were his closest friends, are not able to sort everything. And Jesus comes down and finds that there's this father of this boy who has evil powers in charge of his life, and his disciples haven't been able to help. So Jesus asks him to bring the boy to them, and he immediately delivers the boy, and he heals him, and he restores him to his father, just showing the power of Jesus. Everyone is amazed at Jesus' authority again, at his power. And then Jesus begins to explain to them what's happening, what he's going to be doing, about his plan. Jesus' journey coming down from the mountain of transfiguration is a journey of descent. Even though he's going up to Jerusalem, he's coming down towards the cross. And it's interesting that Luke says here, when it was coming near, in the process of him being taken up. So again, there's this emphasis on ascension, when Jesus is getting near being taken up. And he explains to his team what is going to happen, that he's going to be handed over, he's going to be crucified, but the third day he's going to rise again. They completely miss the point. They don't get it. It says they don't understand what he's talking about. In fact, as a follow-on to this, they begin arguing about who's going to have the most power in the kingdom of God among them. You know, people are constantly besotted with the idea of power. Power is something, control, authority, all these things. They're constantly things that particularly men battle about. And here a battle is going on about who's going to be the greatest. Jesus solves this by taking a child and putting the child in their midst and saying, look, if any of you wants to be really great, when God is king, then you become like this child. You become meek and open and innocent and vulnerable and transparent, and an open book. And this is what the kingdom of God is about, not about the grasping after power. It's actually about the simplicity and the openness. This is how you become great in the kingdom of God. Although Jesus is exalted in glory in this passage, we also see him coming down, descending, going towards death, and his face set towards Jerusalem. Let's be agreed in our hearts to go with Jesus and to continue that descent with him, so that we also share in his sufferings, so that we may also triumph with him. Have a very good April the 1st.